So we're reading Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. This is by Jean Marzolo. Okay. You guys know anything about Martin Luther King? What do you know?
He wanted to change laws and so white people can be free and treated equally, and black people can have the same.
Okay, good. Do you know anything about it? No? Nothing? So this will be new to you? Did you know that Martin Luther King Day is why we're not coming to school on Monday?
No.
You didn't? Or you did?
Because we have
you didn't,
Saturday,
or you did?
Sunday,
you
Monday,
didn't. Okay.
And then Tuesday. And Tuesday's my lucky day.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I get to spend the whole day with my friends.
Okay. All right. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. His parents loved him very much. Martin Luther King had the same name as his father, except for one thing. His father was called Martin Luther King Sr., and Martin was called Martin Luther King
Jr.
Did you know that?
No.
Martin went to elementary school, high school, and college in Atlanta. Do you know where Atlanta is? Oh, come on. Do you know where Atlanta is? It's in Georgia. He was a good student, and later he went to divinity school in Pennsylvania. Ooh, divinity. That's a hard word. Do you know what that word is? Divinity? Have you ever heard that word? Let's see if we can figure it out looking at the next page. Martin became a pastor, just like his dad, at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. So let's see. If he went to school and he became a pastor, what kind of school do you think it was?
School that teaches you about churches.
He went to school to be a pastor. So that's what divinity school, yeah? They were both called Reverend. The Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Would you like your name that long?
Huh?
Would you like your name to be that long? No? Martin's job as a minister was to help people in need. He visited sick people in the hospital and made them feel better. He asked people not to fight with each other. He said that there were peaceful ways to solve problems. What do you think about that? Yeah? Are there peaceful ways? What do you think, Tyler? What kind of peaceful ways? What do we talk about in school to solve problems? What could you do? Nothing? What could you do if you got in an argument with somebody?
Stop.
Well, you could stop, but is that going to solve the problem? Now, what do we usually talk about doing, Leah?
What you can do is you can stop and think about it and maybe talk it out.
Okay, talking about it, right? Isn't that a peaceful way to solve a problem, Tyler? And like his father, Martin led people in prayer and song. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is famous because he helped our country change some of its laws. Isn't that what you said? Your prediction was right. A law is like a rule. Once there is a law in some places that said only white people could sit in the front of the bus and that black people had to sit in the back. What do you think about that?
Sounds fair.
Doesn't sound fair? Why not?
Because a few days in the past, I was reading a book and I found a page that Rosa Parks wanted to sit anywhere she wanted, and they didn't let her, and then she had to get off the bus and she was sent to jail.
Ah, so that doesn't sound very fair, does it? That was an excellent connection you just made. Martin Luther King said that the law needed to be changed. Rosa Parks and other people like him helped change it. Now all people can sit in any empty seat they like. Once there were laws in some places that African Americans could only use certain restaurants and certain drinking fountains. Martin Luther King and many other people helped change these laws. Now all people can share the same restaurants and drinking fountains. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Good.
Why? Do you think everyone should have to go to separate restaurants?
No.
Should boys and girls have to go to separate restaurants? No. Everyone can work together, right? there was a law in some places that black children and white children couldn't even go to school together. Martin Luther King and other people, including many very brave children, had this law changed too. Now black children and white children can go to school together. Could you imagine that? What? Going to separate schools? Do you have friends with different skin color than you? Yeah? You wouldn't be able to go to school with them. We couldn't even go to school together. Look. Right? That wouldn't be good. Martin Luther King had a special talent for leadership. When he spoke, people listened. Poor people, rich people, white people, black people, and people from all around the world listened to Martin Luther King speak. Many helped him work, march, sing, and pray for justice. Have you ever heard of Martin Luther King's speech? I Have a Dream speech. Very good. That is the Washington Monument. Excellent. So where is he?
Washington.
In Washington, D.C., right? Mm-hmm. And what is he doing?
Saying his dream.
He's saying his dream. He's giving a speech, right, to all these people. In the summer of 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. gave the most famous speech of his life. He gave it outdoors to 250,000 people who had come to D.C. to ask the president for jobs and freedom for black people. In his speech, Martin Luther King said that he had a dream. His dream was that people everywhere would learn to live together without being mean to each other. What do you think of his dream? Good dream? Good dream? Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed in 1968. Because he loved poor people so much, he was given a special funeral in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was born. His body was put in a simple farm cart and pulled slowly by 2 mules to a cemetery. Thousands of people walked behind Martin in a sad, loving parade. On his gravestone were carved the beautiful words, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at
Last."
Martin Luther King wanted people to be able to go places together, share food together, and love one another in peace. Because he worked so hard for freedom and helped so many people gain it, we honor him every year on his special day. What do we call that day?
Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day, yeah? And we say, "Happy birthday, Martin Luther King." So we celebrate him on his birthday. So, did you learn anything? What did you learn?
1,000 people went to Washington, D.C.
Lots and lots of people. It was more than 1,000. 250,000. And what did they go to D.C. for?
Martin Luther King.
Okay, to hear him speak, right? And when he was speaking, what did he say? Remember?
That he wanted all people to be treated equally.
And so that was his dream, right? Do either of you have a dream? What dream do you have?
Toys.
Toys? What do you mean toys?
I get dreams about toys.
You dream about toys? Well, but his dream is not quite like a dream that he had when he went to sleep. Do you dream about toys when you go to sleep?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, his dream was something bigger than just saying, "I want toys." He was saying, "I want everybody to get along," right? So maybe thinking about your dream and thinking about something that you would really like to happen instead of just somebody giving you toys, right? Do you have a dream? What?
On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that I not use all my money and give money to the poor.
Okay, so you want to help out the poor? So that's part of your dream? Okay. What about going to college? Do you want to go to college? What do you want to go to college for?
I want to go to astronaut.
Ooh, you want to be an astronaut? So wouldn't that be a dream of yours? Something kind of bigger than just getting toys, but becoming an astronaut, and do you think that would help the world, help people? Yeah? What would you do if you were an astronaut?
Fly to the moon.
Okay, and just for fun? What are you going up there to do?
To see what's on the moon.
Right, and to learn about it, right? And so you would have to know science, and maybe you can teach us something, right? That'd be pretty cool. Great. Thanks, guys, for listening. Good job.
Go.